Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about my April TBR. I put a few too many books on my TBR in March and I didn't get to all of them, so one of them is going to be a rollover from last month, but the rest will be new. I'm making this month a little bit shorter because there are some things that I want to get done this month that may hinder some of my reading time, and I want to be able to mood read a lot more than I was able to in the month of March. So let's get right into my April TBR. So the first book on my TBR for April is Words of Radiance. I did not get to it in March, but I promise it's not going to be on my TBR every month. I'm gonna get to it in April. And I think a good way for me to be able to get to this quickly in April is I'm gonna try to read it with a friend of mine. I haven't even talked to my friend about this yet, but if she decides she wants to read this with me, I will link her channel down below. The next book on my TBR is Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is the fourth installment of the Lunar Chronicle series, and I'm reading this to pre-read it for my daughter. However, Cress was a lot better than I expected. It was a lot better than both Cinder and Scarlet, in my opinion, and we'll talk more about that in my March wrap-up, but I'm gonna get to Winter this month. Savannah Grace is already begging me to read it. She has been waiting anxiously. She read Cress in like a day and a half, so she's ready to move on with the series. So this will be read pretty soon as April starts. All right, so this one, each of the books in the Lunar Chronicles takes a fairy tale and kind of does a retelling of it with a sci-fi twist. So this one focuses on Snow White, and this features Princess Winter, who is kind of a captive. She is Queen Lavanna, who is the evil lady in the series, her stepdaughter. And so she is kind of captive on Lunar. And so Cress, Scarlet, and Cinder and all of the accompanying cast are headed to Lunar, and I'm assuming we'll meet up with Winter at some point in this book. So I think I'll enjoy this one just because I enjoyed Cress a whole lot more, but I will say I will be glad to finish this series and just be done with the pre-reading. But that's okay. I mean, I'm enjoying my ride and it's been fun. Okay, so the next book I'm gonna pick up in April is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. And this isn't something that I would normally gravitate towards. It's about a lady who works in an aquarium and befriends an octopus, and her son has gone missing, and I think the octopus's name is Marcellus. He decides that he's going to help her find her son. And so the premise sounds kind of strange, not necessarily my cup of tea, because this is not a middle grade book. This is an adult fiction that features, I'm not sure if Marcellus the octopus talks or not, but it features animals in a interesting way. So I normally wouldn't gravitate toward this, but I have heard so many people absolutely love this book, and it's been on people's favorites list, and I want to see. I want to try it for myself, and I hope I enjoy it, but I'll let you know if I don't. Okay, so the next book that's on my April TBR is That Sounds Fun by Annie F. Downs, and I really enjoy the way that Annie Downs writes. Her book Looking for Lovely, I've read several times. It's just, she tells her story in such a moving and engaging way, and I know that she's going to write the same in That Sounds Fun. But basically this book is all about fun and why it's important to have fun, what you can do to add more fun to your life, and it's about her journey to find fun that you want in your life, but also you need some fun. You know, your life can't all be drudgery. And so I'm excited to pick this nonfiction up in April. So the next book on my TBR is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. It's the next book in the Hercule Poirot series, and this is about Roger Ackroyd, and he knows that the woman he loves, her husband died because he was poisoned, and she has now mysteriously died because she has been blackmailed. And now, as soon as he's getting ready to find out who the blackmailer is, he dies. And so Poirot has to uncover who murdered him. And so I'm excited to pick up another book by Agatha Christie and continue on in the Poirot series. Okay, so the next book I'm going to pick up on my TBR before I get into the pickle jar prompts is The Secret Garden by Frances Burnett. And this is obviously a reread for me. I read this when I was a child, but I have not reread it since I was an adult. And I think spring is the perfect time for this book. I think everyone knows the premise of The Secret Garden, but this is actually my daughter's copy. But I love the fact that it has some illustrations throughout it. It's a beautiful copy, and I'm excited to read this in the spring. I think it'll be the perfect time to read about a secret garden. So I'll be getting to that fairly quickly in April because let me tell you, here in Kentucky, we have some beautiful weather and we are all wanting to be outside all of the time. So it will be perfect, a perfect read. So I think I'm going to draw 2 more prompts from my pickle jar just so I can read some more books on my shelf. I've done a really phenomenal job this year of reading books that I own and not checking out so many from the library. I will say that I'm not doing a great job on purchasing books because I'm still purchasing books. So my physical TBR of books that I own is not really decreasing because I keep adding to it. But it's okay. I'm doing fine. It's only April. It'll be fine. So let's go ahead and draw the first one. So the first prompt is, okay, an American classic. Here, let's just go ahead and draw the second one too, so I can search for them at the same time. And then the second one is a lighthearted book. Perfect for spring. Okay, so hold on just a second. I'm gonna find two books that fit these prompts on my shelves, and then I'll be right back. So for the American classic, I chose The Red Badge of Courage. It is, the back says, first published in 1895, America's greatest novel of the Civil War was written before the 21-year-old Stephen Crane had smelled even the powder of a sham battle. Okay, so I guess it's about the struggles of a soldier in the Civil War. So this fits perfectly. It's not too big. I've never read it. I don't know how I've never read it, if it's an American classic, but I haven't. So here's that, added to my TBR. And the one that I picked for a lighthearted read is Georgie All Along. This was my book of the month pick for February, and it just kind of caught my eye. The little blurb sounded nice and lighthearted. This author actually wrote Love Lettering, Kate Claiborne, and I enjoyed it. It was a fluffy read for sure, but I did enjoy that book. So I hope I enjoy this one as well. Okay, so this book, Georgie works in LA, but something happens with her job and she has to go back to her hometown. And when she's there, she finds her old diary and she starts reading her diary, and I guess it's just she decides that it's going to be a new path, like her way to start over, not in LA. And then of course she meets someone from her past who still lives in town, and I guess they get to know each other better. But anyway, I think this will be a fun, lighthearted read, and I think this will fit the prompt well. So there you have it. I've got 8 books on my TBR for April. I'm excited to dive in, and I would love to know what you're reading in April. Are you reading some spring-themed books? What are some titles that have caught your eye for the new month? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.